Hi everyone, I'm Roland Winter, and welcome to Winter Guitars. I am going to be starting the Great Guitar Build-Off Unofficial. So follow along, and you can see as I pick out the different wood for the bodies, the different wood for all the neck and the fretboard, and see all the process of me building this from scratch, from start to finish. So go ahead, get yourself a cup of coffee, sit back, your favorite beverage, and join me for a little while. I'll see you in a minute. Go ahead and hit subscribe so you can follow along as I build this guitar step by step for the Great Guitar Build-Off Unofficial. Coffee. All right, so I'm going to be doing a 25.5-inch scale guitar. It's going to be a bolt-on neck. Probably looking at doing, I'm thinking about doing a Floyd Rose. All the stuff I've been doing recently that I've been building have been just a regular hardtail, but it's been a while since I've had a Floyd Rose and I love them, so I think I'm going to do that on this one. So either way, I'm going to be starting, I think one of the first things is to get the body wood and the neck wood all together and started. So we're going to be using, for the body, I've picked ash. So this is a nice white ash. It's all one piece and perfect for the fit, for the template that I have. I made the template on my own. I've made this guitar body several times. I have one right here, which I might even just use. Gotta work on the horn a little. But that's all just ash, and it finishes great, and I like how it works. So there we go. We're starting with ash for the body, but I like white ash, and I like how it feels and the way it finishes. It's to me, it's really gorgeous. So we're gonna go with that. Now for the neck, here's a 7-piece neck I did, and this is walnut, maple, walnut, maple, walnut, maple, walnut. But I think what I'm going to be doing with this one is I'm going to go with a 5-piece neck, and I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to have some wenge, and I'm going to start with wenge on the outsides, and I'm going to do some maple in between. And so I'm going to be doing a 5-piece neck with wenge and maple, kind of along the same lines as what we see here, okay? Except for it'll just be a 5-piece. I'm also going to be looking at doing 24 frets as well. And I think the headstock angle, I'm looking at, I think anywhere between 10 and 12. I'm not going to be doing a full Ibanez headstock angle, which I'm pretty sure is, I think, around 15. I want to do something just a little less of an angle on the headstock. I also, because I'm going to be doing the Floyd Rose, the locking nut that is at the top here, I have to make sure I leave room for, I think it's 15 3/4 millimeter, and 43 millimeters wide. So I'm going to have to leave room there for that as well. So it's not going to be your typical nut width. Also, let's see, for the fretboard, I have 2 choices for a fretboard. And it's just basically what's available to me. I could order maybe some ebony or even some rosewood or something like that. But what I'm thinking of doing for the fretboard is either I'm going to get some bird's eye maple, which is readily available to me locally here, and doing like a bird's eye maple fretboard. Or I did get this recently, which is Patagonia rosewood. It's very pretty. It's a little lighter than your typical like rosewood, but it's dense and it's pretty. So I might use that. I'm not sure yet along those ways. But the wen should be very pretty along with the maple here. and doing the 5-piece neck, and it should come out pretty good. So the first things we have to do, we're going to be planing some wood. For the wenge, I'm going to cut it down to size. I'm going to do like a 30-inch board, 30-inch about with the maple as well. And we're going to be planing them down, and so that we can do a sandwich of those and glue them together and get them set so they can sit and get ready. And then also for the actual body, the body I have to be planed down so it's nice and even and it's flat, and we'll use our template, get it on here and cut it on out. So those are our first steps. This is what we're going to be doing for the beginning. So well, here we go. The length doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as I have enough that I know will be the length of the guitar neck. And I usually give myself a little play on either side because I'll be routing and cleaning up the entire neck afterwards. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Okay, as you can see, that does get a little messy. But what we're left out with here is now we have, and I opted for something else. I don't know if you noticed as I was cutting, but I needed the middle piece. And I could have done another piece of wenge, but I have some beautiful purple heart over there. So what I actually have is, we'll have a purple heart center. Kind of fitting, heart, center. So we have a purple heart center, we're gonna have maple sandwiching the Purple Heart, and then we have our 2 pieces of wenge, and those are gonna be on the outside, and that's what the neck's gonna, the grain, the wood is gonna look like. So now, the next part, I'm gonna plane these, get them nice and flat so that we can start to glue these up and let them sit. And then from there, while we let these sit, we can move on to the body. So let's go. Okay, so now that we have the wood planed, we have our 2 pieces of wenge, we have our 2 pieces of maple planed, and we have our Purple Heart. Now, overall, it doesn't matter the thickness of what my inside wood is. So, in other words, I could have really made my maple thinner, I could have made it thicker. The whole overall, what you're really looking for is, I want to make sure that I at least have a good amount of space all in all. So the wenge is really going to be the big player on the outside. Okay, and as it is, I think my maple, it's about 8.3 millimeters. Yeah, 8.3. The Purple Heart, measuring out at, it's a little over 10.3 millimeters. And then the wenge is on the outside, okay? And to me, also, if I eyeball it, I mean, it looks like, that looks decent. That looks like a nice neck to me. And I think the Purple Heart in the middle is just gonna brighten it up too, along with that maple. Hadn't planned on it. The last guitar I built, I did just basically Purple Heart and maple, and it was beautiful. But I think the Purple Heart will just kind of spice it up, give it a little something different. So now that I've done this, I want to get it glued so I can get started, have this cure so that I can start shaping the neck and getting things ready. Plus we can move on to the body, so it's not a big deal. But I want to get this done. Now, I've done this a few times, and I don't know, from my experience, if I throw down some wax paper, sometimes you can wipe the glue, but glue is going to be seeping out. I've had it at some point where it stuck to my table. Not this one, I've moved recently. Where it stuck to my table when I let it sit and I wasn't wiping it and so on and so forth. But the wax paper kind of works pretty good. Plus afterwards, when we're done, like when I'm actually done and everything's dried and I take the clamps off and stuff like that, I mean, I'm gonna be cutting these down so that they're a flat surface as well. It's typically what I do. So any even wax paper that might get stuck, which I've had that happen, it's all gonna get cut off and milled out anyways, so it's not a big deal. So, typically I use Type-On. I usually try to get the 3. It's the ultimate wood glue. I know there's 2, there's 1, there's 3, I don't know. So, but I've used this, and this stuff is just man, it gets it close. And I even watched Texas Toast, which he kind of threw me off because when he did his Paul Reed Smith video, he glued his neck, and I think literally he only waited like 2 to 3 hours, and he unclamped it, and then he was ready to go, and he was working on his neck, which typically I've always waited overnight. Now I know this stuff. If you read it, it'll tell you that it should be ready to go after a few hours. It even says that the bond should be tight, if I remember correct. You could take off the clamps and everything after 30 minutes. It says don't stress the joints for 24 hours. But anyways, not that I'm going to sit here and read the stuff, and not that I'm doing a commercial for Type-On, but you know, everybody uses it anyways. All right. So I'm usually pretty generous with this. I'll start on the outside. I'll start lathering this one up, then lather up the next one, and just keep on going all the way through. And then I'll start clamping. Now, this guy is just giving me a hard time. But I honestly, you tell me what you think in the comments and stuff like that, but I think the combination of the wood is just gonna look sexy. I hate to say it. You know, is this gonna get you more chicks? Maybe. Or guys, I don't know, depends what you're into. But it's gonna look pretty nice by the time it's done. And this type of wood and the way I'm setting it up, it's gonna be a real strong neck. So let's get going. Start off here. Now, a lot of people like to, there's different ways. So one, you can use a scraper, and I can easily just kind of scrape the glue to get it on. I've seen people use credit cards, many different ways to do this. I have a brush there too, because I can easily just use a brush. To be honest, if I don't get too messy, a lot of times I'll just use my finger, and I get that stuff rubbed right in there, you know? And again, I'm not being afraid to really put the glue on. Get that in there. And it's going to make a great Type-On. Which, again, is the name of the glue. I know, ironic, huh? If I'm being goofy, don't worry. It's who I am. All right. Let's see here. There's one piece there. All right. So since I did that side, I'm just going to do this side of this one, and I'll work my way. Oh! To be honest, seeing bloopers and dropping shit, stuff like that is half the fun when I watch some of these videos. I watch a lot of different videos. I love watching YouTube and seeing guitars made, and I don't know, just anything really. But I love see people in real life. Because when people are doing their videos, they're probably skipping over all the stuff that's really, giving them a hard time. And I just think it's funny. It's just the way it is. All right, start moving these over. And yeah, I'm gonna get glue on me. It's just the way it is. Again, use my finger. Get that over there. Get this over here. So I had a better workshop, like a place where I could really do stuff. But just before COVID, I moved. So I'm originally from New England, New Hampshire, but now back in the New England area. I'm in Rhode Island now. So it's kind of nice to be back. Was down in Florida for a few years working. So what I was gonna say is, so like this is all like new. I know it doesn't look like much, but I'm just trying to set up a space that I can actually do some more guitar work and woodworking and stuff like that, which I enjoy. Everybody's got to have a hobby, something to do. All right, so there's that. And, all right, so actually, that's all I need. You only need to glue 4 parts. So here, let's start doing this. Kind of line them up on one end. It is going to slide on you, and there's ways you can get around that, but as you start tightening those clamps, it'll get better. So let's see. Okay. So here's my start. And I want to see glue just start seeping out. I mean, that's when you know you've put enough and the bond's going to be good. So start. And you see here about, you know, so many people are like, oh yeah, when I do it, I do clamps on one side and clamps on the other side. And so I'm just going to start by, there's no rhyme or reason, guys, try this at home. I'm going to work my way up, and I didn't even put that on too tight. I'm just going to slowly do it and get myself to where I need. Let me see, I'm going to go a few inches up, because then I'll put another one in between. But I really want to make sure that I'm really seeing glue coming out. And I should probably it'd be great if I brought the camera over. So I want to make sure that stays down. That one's popping up on me. All right. Get these smaller ones. I usually don't use the C-clamps, but those ones are ginormous. So, let's see. So I just want to get these snug, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to really tighten them and then just work my way down. And yeah, I'm a cheapo. I mean, get stuff at Harbor Freight and things like that. If you're from the US, that's just like a cheap place to get tools. You know, can even, you know, get stuff like this anywhere really, but you can't beat the price. So that's what I do. And they're doing what I need. Okay. Really get that on the end. And I see some glue come through. Okay. I'm gonna start to slowly, I'm seeing glue. I'll show you. I'm going to start to get these to come out. See how it's starting to tilt this way because of my... Yeah, see all that glue at the bottom? And the paper helps, believe it or not. Okay. Come on. And guys, I'm going to spend less time cutting stuff out, like, you know, my paper just fell out or whatever. You know, I'm just going to show you how it is. Nobody's perfect. Not when you're just playing around at home, having fun. All right, let's get some more of these. But you really want to I get most of my clamps I have. I mean, because that's all I really need. I'm not going to be clamping. I'm not doing the bodies I'm doing are not going to be two-piece or anything like that. I don't have to do any gluing there. So it's really the neck. And I want to get this set up so I can start doing the videos on cutting this up, you know. And I'll make a template for the neck as well. All right, let's see. But tell me what you think. Put some comments in. Don't forget to subscribe. You know, give me something to go off of. Having fun. I've been watching a lot of the videos out there of the other unofficials and the regular Great Guitar Build Off. It's awesome. I especially during COVID, you know, everything going on. It's like, I spend so much time just watching YouTube, going through videos, just gives you something to do, a lot of fun. And it was a good idea, I think, doing these build-ups. I think it's awesome. Okay. Now, I don't want to go too tight and get all the glue. I just want to get a nice snug, see it come out. Okay, and this guy back here. All right, what are we looking at? How's the glue there? Looks all right. A lot of times what I can do now is, you can see all the glue, and you can see all the glue that came off on the other side, which is crazy because gravity, of course. But what I'll do is I'll flip it, and now the glue will start seeping out the other side. Okay, I know that looks like hell, but my paper towels are here. Okay, so I'll wipe that down, and you know, we'll let her go. We'll give her some time. So there we go. Neck started, ready to go, and we'll get her going. Okay, so now that we've planed the white ash to thickness, which is for me 1 3/4 inch. So yeah, I'm right there, 1.755. So planed it down 1 3/4 inch, and I'll bring a close up so you can see it. But almost looks like there's a little bit of a what do you call it? Excuse me. Almost like it has a little bit of a flame in it. A figuring, you know, just down here at the bottom. I was noticing it as I was actually, as I was planing it. You can see there's a little figuring here as well. Don't always see that. It looks pretty nice. I like it. I like it a lot. It's good, nice piece of wood. I like the grain, the way it is. So usually I use a template, and I have a template over here from previous guitars I've made. But this is one that I made where I used a template, but then I tweaked it with the sander and kind of, you know, got my wings and my horns to where I kind of liked it. I still would want to do some changes, but I kind of use this as a template, you know, just kind of traced it out, give me a little idea. And I'll go through with a pencil and just kind of tweak out what I like. This is still something I'm working on. Anyways, so I'm going to try that. And I'll let you give you a chance to take a look. And we'll cut it out on the bandsaw. Now for tools that I have here, I don't know if you've seen, but I just have a table saw. I have the DeWalt, the planer. It's only 12-inch wide. So that gave me some issue going through there because this is literally 12 1/4 inch, so it barely gets through. Usually if I do 2 pieces of wood and glue them, so you have a body made of 2 pieces of wood, it's a lot easier. But you know, this ash that I got it done in Miami when I was living down there. It's like 13.5 inches wide. It was 1 full plank. So I have several of these. Okay, and then I have the table saw like you saw. I do have a bandsaw, which I wish, you know, if there's one thing that you really need that's so important is a really good bandsaw, and I don't. I have like a little Ryobi bandsaw I got off Home Depot. Nothing big. I mean, it does the job. It will cut stuff. It's okay, but it's not something, you know, I'd want like maybe a 14-inch, you know, a jet, something that's really nice, because you can use it for so much, but it'd be nice. So yeah, I have this little, you know, like Fisher Price kind of bandsaw, but it'll work. It'll cut everything out, and it does what I need it to do for the time being until I feel like upgrading. And that'll be it. So we're going to cut this out, and then, you know, again, we'll tweak it with the Ridgid sander, and we'll see from there. So this will be towards the end. Like, again, if you enjoy what you see and you want to see more, you want to see it come together, because I have a lot of good ideas here, follow along. Just go ahead and hit subscribe. You know, everybody's kind of checking out the whole great guitar build. And it's been pretty exciting. So I'm following everybody. I want to see what's going on, see what people are doing. There's some really cool stuff out there. And people are coming out of the woodwork. And I think it's really, really cool, you know, to see other people that are out there just, you know, building, whether it's kits or from scratch. It doesn't matter. It's just fun. This is good stuff. So go ahead, check it out. Keep up with it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this. And we'll come back. We'll have another video after that. So, good talking to you. Stay in touch. Come back. Watch the rest. See ya. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That way you can follow along and see all the installments of me building this guitar for the Great Guitar Build-Off Unofficial.